Hello, everyone. It is so great to be with you. I'm Foojan Zeine. I'm a psychotherapist and author and the originator of the awareness integration theory. Our conversation is about what matters most in our life, our minds, our thoughts, feelings, actions, relationships, and our fulfillment in this beautiful journey of life. Subscribe to this podcast, my YouTube channel, and connect with me through my website, foojanzeine.com, or any of the social medias that you like. I'd love to hear from you. Anything, tell me your comments, what you need to hear from us, and all of that. So today I will chat with Tom Glaser. He's a psychologist and a life coach with over 30 years of experience. Tom is also the author of the Amazon.com's bestseller, Full Heart Living, Conversations with the Happiest People I Know, which launched 3 years ago via a performance piece, Full Heart Living Live. He's now working on a second book and video project on resilience following trauma. You can find him at fullheartliving.com. Let's go and let's chat. Welcome back, everyone. I am so excited to be with Tom Glaser today. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Foojan. Thank you so much for having me.
So nice to have you. You have created a lot of amazing stuff. Books, conversational cards, you're a psychologist, life coach, and everything that you have experienced, you brought it into really amazing tools. So Full Heart Living, everyone, conversations with the happiest people that I know. And so that's your book.
Yes.
You also got fun stuff for people not to only go through books, but also to have a game, a conversation starter. So just share a little bit about that.
Sure. I'll show you the box, first of all. So this has 102 conversation sparks. They look like this on one side, and then you see the conversation spark on the other side. And you have been brave, Dr. Foojan, to dive in. You don't know what's coming. I'm going to give you one of these, and you're going to speak from the heart for about 2 minutes. I'll get my little timer here ready on my phone. And I'm going to be listening from the heart. I'm going to be listening for themes and values. And after you're finished speaking, I'll tell you when about 2 minutes is up. And I'll have about 2 minutes to speak from my heart on what I heard as your themes and values in a sentence or words or a phrase. And we're going to be noticing how connected to ourselves and each other we feel as we do this. And that is this activity in a box that I'm showing you.
Ooh, I'm excited already.
Oh, I love that you are game to do this. Happier people, by the way, take risks. And this is a bit of a risk, of course, for both of us. Neither of us knows what's going to happen here. Well, let's dive in. So, talk about a time you felt the most alive and why.
Wow. I can tell you, it was for the first time that I had gone to a self-actualization seminars. And I remember I hadn't actually cried for almost like 10 years. I had really dormanted a lot of my emotions, and I had kind of survived life, and I had said that I will gain everything that I ever wanted, have a business, be married, have my house and everything. By age 30, by age 28, I had all of them. I just wasn't happy. So I started going to one of these seminars, and it took a while before I got it, that where I'm stuck, but that wasn't the piece. It was more I started working at the seminar with other people. and opening these facts with others, and what was it that made them stuck and how they got released. And that was actually my motivation to become a therapist afterward. And I'm like, I love this.
Yeah.
This concept of being with another human being and sharing this interception of moving into their own thought process, becoming aware, and their ideas and their heart and their emotion, and coming to terms with being a human being, almost like looking at our the worst possible sides and the most beautiful sides, and seeing that, you know, how much we're capable of both at any minute, and bringing and integrating those. So that's when I actually felt the most alive.
I love it. That's exactly 2 minutes. It's so fun to hear this. Okay, I have been listening and I'm feeding back what I heard. So so this is mine. This is my words that came to me as I heard you. I heard themes like discovery and awakening and opening and fullness to polarities, right? Like suffering. You didn't exactly say this, but I think this is what you were kind of getting at. Suffering and hope, or suffering and resilience, and opening to the fullness of life, the fullness of other people. And it was in community. It wasn't solo. You were with other people, both sharing, and that really lit a spark in you, lit a fire. You discovered a passion. You discovered what you wanted to do with your life. When you went from having accomplished all the things that you thought that you wanted, but like fulfillment still wasn't there. The full meaning wasn't there yet. And going to this self-discovery, actualization seminar really brought you to life.
Yes. And it continues every day as I'm with people, with my clients, with my guests. It's just this. It's this level of connection, but the connection is through the discovery of who we are as human beings. So, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely, totally.
So this conversation sparks, as I'm hearing, is it opens up this path of having a deeper conversation, not only for you to discover what's going on inside of you, because the questions spark a part of you that needs to become aware of you, but also this concept of the going back and forth and having someone being a full listener.
Absolutely.
And sharing what they heard creates this level of connection. But I'm also getting that as I hear you share what you hear from me, with your words, it also expands my world, because I said it with these words, but then because you took it and expanded it with your words, now my horizon kind of got expanded, because I also saw the way you were looking at what I had said and brought me your world. And it seems like it produces connection and expansion.
Absolutely true. Absolutely. The synergy, right? So it's like 1 and 1 equals more than 2, right? Yes, exactly. Beautiful. Exactly. Thank you so much.
What brought you into creating this?
Yeah, so I wrote my book and I was going out doing public speaking gigs, doing more traditional book readings, talking about my book, which is Full Heart Living, Conversations with the Happiest People I Know. And so I was because what I learned is that happier people connect more deeply with themselves and others and their passions. I was hoping by my speaking gigs, I would inspire people to do those things. But here's what happened really early on. I realized, just talking about it wasn't working. It wasn't enough. People looked at me like a deer in the headlights. They didn't get it. So I was like, no, I have to take it deeper for them to get it. They have to experience something. So I came up with this activity and I would bring people through a very similar activity to what you and I just did. And then they got it. And then they were like, oh, I can take this into my life. So then I was like, okay, let's box this. Let's give them a bunch of ideas, really. And I've in the instructions, it's all that listening stuff. So it's really a listening game, as you got right away. So it came from the public speaking gigs, not doing what I wanted them to do. That's where they were born.
Invention, when we know something is missing and we got
yes, exactly.
So when you listen to the happiest people that you know,
yes,
what is a common thread that you hear?
Well, here's the thing. I interviewed in depth 9 people for the book, and then I also was thinking of all the clients I've worked with my whole life and all the just the people I know. I was initially going to assign, one chapter was going to be per subject, but really quickly I realized they are saying so many of the same things that doesn't make any sense. So instead, the book is by topic, and so there are 20 chapters, and there are a lot of things like self-care is really important with being happier. Living a life of values is really important. Being grateful is so important. So there's a bunch of chapters, but the top things for sure, and I'll say a little bit more about them. I very quickly covered them a minute ago. Happier people connect really deeply with other people. They have a tribe. They have people they love, and they spend time with them, and they feel loved in return. That's number 1 by far. Number 2, they're connected with themselves. So what does that mean? They know who they are. They honor their rhythms. Happier people are more in the present moment. That's being connected with oneself. So not, instead of worrying about what's to come or perseverating over things that are no longer here, it's being in the present so we can fully take in the beauty that is all around us in any moment. And then number 3, happier people connect really deeply with their passions. They do things they adore, and they get into that flow state, right? Where you lose all sense of time and you're kind of just one with the activity. When they do all those things in the service of others, Dr. Foojan, that's when it's like it all comes together. So making the world a better place. Connecting with others, oneself, passions, making the world a better place. Those are by far the top things.
It's interesting that a lot of times people think that if they are tuning in only to themselves and doing, fulfilling their own needs, and that's where happiness shows up. And, research after research after research, we see that it's really not that would be the first.
Yes.
But that's not where it ends. That's not where fulfillment and happiness resides. That it's like you get yourself ready, then to give. And to that concept of I'm ready, then to give, and that connection into giving is what really creates the fulfillment and happiness.
Absolutely. Our tank has to be full, so we have something to offer. That said, offering something helps to fill the tank, right? It's not just one or the other. One depletes us, one fills us, right? It's the cycle, the synergy again. 1 + 1 is more than 2.
Yes. So as you, in your practice, as you've worked as a therapist, as a coach, what I'm sensing you've experienced, and that's why you put it in your book, is you're watching people go from not being fulfilled, not being happy, and the path that they need to take in order to become, bring themselves into fulfillment and happiness. And you're giving them the tools. And one of the tools that I'm hearing based on the cards you've created is the listening piece, which is really putting yourself into the space of another human being, knowing the world from their perspective.
Yes.
And how does that work? Can you share with our audience how you you got that listening is one of the key factors into happiness.
How did I discover that that's true? Yeah, I gotta say, it's by kind of the negative example, right? Less happy people are very cut off to others and themselves. They have more trouble sharing the truth. It's like the fear of exposing oneself is so great that then there isn't a chance to experience that depth of connection. So when I bare my soul, when I take more risks, and it's not just to anyone on the street, no, it's to someone I believe I can trust. When I say my honest truth, my true experience, when I share my pain, that's when I feel the most connected to others. And then when they accept me, warts and all, even though I've been through this horror and I'm far from perfect and I make all these mistakes and I've done these things that have hurt others and I feel terrible, they still love me, right? Then I'm like, then I believe I'm lovable. I'm okay, right? Then the spirits rise. Then I'm more able to do the things I came here to do. I can access the meaning and the purpose that fills my tank and fills my soul and allows me to do good things in the world.
Yes, and especially our vulnerabilities. What I've noticed is also that when we share our vulnerabilities and we're heard and accepted, and sometimes not only just our vulnerabilities, things that we've done that maybe we're not proud, and we're
Correct.
really damning ourselves in our own head, and then we say it out loud to someone, and we keep hearing them also sharing with us their understanding and how they're hearing it. That is very healing.
Absolutely.
Being heard is very healing.
Exactly. It's essential for humans to thrive. We could possibly survive without it. I'm not even sure that's true though, but certainly to thrive, we must have people who see us, who appreciate us, who hear us. Absolutely. Also sharing laughter. I'm thinking of the symbol of, the theater. It's the masks. One is frowning, one is smiling, and they're side to side. They actually overlap if you really look at the symbol closely. And this is why we're drawn to the arts. The arts reflect our pain and they reflect our joy. So also sharing joy is another way to connect. Absolutely. Laughter. That's when we feel so connected to ourselves and other people. When we're in that gut, laughter, when we lose all sense of time. We're just laughing. We're just here fully in the present moment.
So, Tom, there is a sense right now within the past couple of years. Obviously, COVID made it worse, but I think before COVID, we started looking at the ratio of happiness. Only in some countries in the Northern Europe are consistently at the highest rank. US isn't. US, not only that it went down, but also I think that what you can see is rage is up. And I was looking at a report and it says, how come people are doing so many weird stuff out there with like emotional dysregulation that they are, expressing themselves in all inappropriate ways, let's say. And I know because of all the research you've done in your book, what do you think is going on? And that is not only brewing all of this, and then what is it that we can do to kind of regulate ourselves and go toward the concept of happiness, where it seems like some Northern European countries consistently come up, in the highest rank over and over and over again.
Yes. You're referring to those Scandinavian countries. And so if we look at what's different in their cultures than ours, it's looking out for each other, right? It's the social safety net. Those are hugely valued there. They make those things a priority. Universal health care, parental leave or sick care leave. When a family member is ill, right? There's leave, they have much more generous vacation benefits. All those things lead to a sense of safety. I feel like we have been starved these 2 years with the health crisis, with the pandemic, right? It's like, what if I lose my job? What if I lose my health insurance? There's a health crisis going on, a worldwide health crisis going on. If I lose my job, I lose my health insurance, right? So really foundational pieces. So that makes people more scared, right? More, and it's been so prolonged. So that's what I think there's more, but that's the first thing that comes to mind about this question. That it's and it's so related to what we're talking about, right? Looking out for the welfare of the whole, making that a priority. That fits with what we're talking about. Like in your example at the top of the time together, it was in community that you came alive and you discovered so much. So yes, if we could embrace that, I think we would have less acting out at times like this.
I'm hearing you say that there's a lot of anxiety that got produced, and the anxiety obviously, creates a lot of tension for us internally. And if we are in an isolated place within ourselves, which for a long time we're isolated, we couldn't be with the community. All the aspects of community was shut down, and we couldn't even see and be close to our family members. We all had to be isolated for so long. And it seems like what I'm hearing is that the anxiety internally with the isolation just allowed more of anxiety brewing. And then an unknown, definitely the whole world we've been going through, and we're going through an unknown. Day after day, the minute we thought the one strand is fine, the next one showed up, and the next one showed up, and we closed down the world, and then we figured, all right, we got this, and then opened it up, and whoops, so it was unknown after unknown. And the only way that I'm hearing you say that the anxiety can calm down is this level of togetherness, whether the togetherness is one person or more in a community. It calms down the anxiety.
Exactly.
We share resources together. We support each other. When one is up, can support the one in down, and then therefore creates more safety and security, and then we can raise each other up.
Exactly. Knowing that someone's got my back. If I lose my job, I still have health insurance. Okay, I'll be okay. I can get another job. Or my family member will be able to access healthcare. Yes, absolutely.
So what made you call your book? And as we're moving forward, we keep coming to the same place of the community. Full Heart Living.
Yeah, I was initially thinking I would call the working title for many years even was Choosing Happiness, because I thought I was going to emphasize the choices we all make. But again, as I was looking at the material, I realized, yes, being happier is about choices we make. Absolutely. And happier people, they do live with their full heart. And if we take it the other way, less happy people repress or suppress emotions, right? They don't want to experience sadness or a bad day or pain, all of which are unavoidable in this human life. Happier people accept that that's a part of a full life, and they find ways to make peace with it. Okay, today's a bad day. I don't feel as good today. Oh, suffering is a part of life. And it's not a stop, right? Less happy people, oh, this is the worst day of my life, and then kind of end and then stay there. Happier people are like, yeah, this really sucks right now. And what? And what else? There's also this. It's like looking at the fullness, the whole picture. So yeah, I really wanted to emphasize that truth. And that's, you referred to that earlier. Again, I think at the very beginning, that that was part of what woke you up in those self-discovery seminars is, it's not just me. Everybody has the fullness. We're all just human beings all in this together. Yeah. So living with a full heart, embracing all of it. then we can really appreciate the joys, the goodness, a bouquet of flowers. Just the other day, my husband had cut some flowers in a vase and put them on the windowsill. And I was like, oh, I had this amazing moment of discovering these flowers. They were red and orange and yellow. I didn't know he was going to put them there and arrange them in a vase like that. And the fact that I can also experience my down days helps me also appreciate the good days or the good moments. You need both. If you try to suppress one, you end up suppressing the other. You don't want to, but you do. There's always a parallel. The more we suppress suffering, the more we suppress joy. The more we let one go, the more the other comes.
Based on your conversation, I was also hearing this concept of the gratitude, like you open your world toward appreciating everything that is there, the people who are around for us, the people who are doing things for us, the people who, or items such as flowers, such as nature, such as whatever. I'm like, hot water, turning on the hot water. And instead of, we usually get surprised. What happened to my hot water? We don't get pleasantly surprised every day. One more day of hot water. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
It's this concept of, wow, it's pleasantly surprised. We're consistently looking at negatively surprised versus pleasantly surprised consistently.
Exactly.
That concept of the wonder and the joyous wonder that we keep looking at. And that's what when I hear full heart living, I keep coming up with this, as I expand my heart, expand my love, expand my appreciation, the joy that I can experience with the community, with people who are around me, but not only community as human beings, but also my dog, all the birds that are out there. That's part of the community also.
The animal kingdom. Absolutely. Yes, you're really onto something. It's so easy for us, particularly us Westerners, to take for granted all these amazing conveniences that we have that make life so much easier and so pleasant. Yes, I love that hot water. Why not brighten up when that comes right out of the tap? You get to step into a nice hot shower anytime you want to. How rare is that in this world? It's still rare in this world to have fresh water out of a tap. Not everyone. In fact, the majority of the population doesn't enjoy that. So yes, why not really appreciate it? I got an assignment. It's almost exactly a year ago. This was soon after my mom died, the second of my parents, and so I was orphaned. I was really down, and it's not that, again, I'm not saying I shouldn't be down. Yes, a massive loss like that, grieve. I was allowing myself to grieve, but I talked to a mentor of mine who encouraged me to begin the day by recording 10 things I'm grateful for. And I've been doing that now for over a full year. And I love this practice. It sounds like a lot, right? 10 a day. Some people go, oh my God, that's too much. Well, you don't have to do 10 if you don't want to, but I love the number 10. 10's working really well for me because it does encourage me to stretch, and it helps me because I know I'm going to have to do it the next morning. It's helping me remain grateful for those little things throughout the day.
Tom, 1 minute. If there's anything we haven't really touched upon that you really want our listeners or viewers to know about your book, about the conversational spark cards, or anything about you and your future projects that you really want everybody to know.
Oh, sure. I could talk about, so my next book is on resilience and trauma. So that's what I'm writing about now. I am offering some workshops on self-compassion, which is extremely happy. I have a new workshop for highly sensitive people that I'm really excited about. And I will be offering in the fall a new introductory workshop on resilience as well. So some fun stuff coming up here.
Beautiful. Last jewels and piece that people can be left with that they really enjoy.
Just go enjoy a moment with a loved one. Soak it in their face, and have a moment where you just enjoy each other.
Beautiful. Tom Glaser, everyone. Go to fullheartliving.com, fullheartliving.com, and get to know him more, and the books and the cards, and also all of the workshops. So it was a joy to have you with us, Tom.
My pleasure.
And for all of you out there, create an amazing life for yourself and everyone around you. And until next week, bye-bye.
Togetherness Media. Togethernessmedia.com